Are you struggling to raise seedlings in the winter and the colder months? I have a technique for you that I think you'll really love, and it's very cheap, it's very easy to do. My hot composting hotbed method will produce lots of compost for you, and it will also grow you seedlings much faster than you would otherwise have them. It's so windy today and it's a little bit wet, but it's not too wet. I'm going to show you now how the hotbed is working to grow these seedlings faster so that I can plant them out and reap all of those benefits through the winter as well, so that I don't miss out on late sowings. The hotbed itself is about 3 foot high and 3 foot wide, and this is the optimal size to make it really warm inside. On top I've got 2 containers with broad beans all inside. These are all growing for the spring. I've got them weighed down with bricks. These broad beans were started in November and they're already looking really good outside. As well as growing broad beans on my hotbed and getting them through very fast, I've also grown some salads. A little while ago I used to be able to grow salads really well over the winter, but in the last few years I've been so busy that I've been so late getting them in, and they usually come out and do really well in May, but it kind of defeats the point of growing them through the winter. So I do hope that just this warmer weather at the moment and growing them on the hotbeds is going to help these plants come through a bit quicker. Would you like to see more from my growing journey? Why not hit the subscribe button down below and join the community? What is hot compost? Hot compost is taking the normal compost pile that you might have and using a recipe of ingredients to get it really hot. We're talking like 50 degrees to 75 degrees. This makes compost really fast, but it also generates a lot of heat, and we can use that heat to heat polytunnels, greenhouses. Making a hot compost pile is actually really easy. It sounds quite sciencey, but I'll break it down for you now so that you have a really good idea of how you can do this on your allotment. You need 2 parts carbon to 1 part nitrogen as your recipe, as you build up your pile and you make it nice and big. 2 parts carbon can come from things like wood chip, sawdust, shredded paper, animal bedding. Those really woody ingredients that you might have in your head are the things that you need for that side of it. And the nitrogens, the greens, are things like food waste, manure, grass, comfrey, nettles. If you think of the parts as wheelbarrow loads, you can take 2 wheelbarrows of wood chip and mix this with 1 wheelbarrow of food waste, weeds or manure for a really simple recipe. You combine these together and you make your pile about 3 foot high, and this is the optimal size for getting a really nice hot heat that'll go from 50 degrees up to 75, and that'll stay warm for about 4 to 6 weeks. You can actually reignite this heat, get it really hot again by adding more layers of materials to that as it goes on. So I've kept that hotbed over on the other plot hot for about 3 months now. It's really good, it works so well, and I haven't had to build another heap because I've been able to add the ingredients to this one over here, and it's going to keep nice and warm for a little bit longer. Hot compost heaps become hotbeds when you grow things on top of them or in them. You can add a layer of compost to your hot compost heap, and this will then be a perfect bed for raising some early seedlings. You can also start things and move them out of the hotbed as they get bigger. I love using my hotbed for things like brassicas, salads and lettuces. Earlier in the season I grow broad beans in containers on top of my hotbed. If you're enjoying this video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like button down below. It helps to send this video out to more people so I can inspire and encourage others to try these techniques out and get a much better success rate on their allotment. Thank you so much. The benefits of turning a hot compost heap into a hotbed is that you can expand out how much growing space you have outside. You don't need a polytunnel or a greenhouse to do this. You can do it outside as long as you've got a covering for those seedlings. They'll be absolutely fine outside. The other benefit of growing crops on a hotbed is that you can speed them along. So if something attacks a crop or a batch of seedlings that you've got outside, you can then plant a new batch really quickly and get them through in 2 or 3 weeks. This is exactly what I've been doing with my broad beans, and I did this last year when the rats were eating through all of my bean seeds. The hotbed was really reliable in this case, and I could grow them on a lot faster than I thought I would outside, and I managed to plant a crop and got a really good harvest last year. The
The possibilities of a hotbed are endless, and I have really enjoyed every moment of using them on my allotment. I've been growing things like broad beans and brassicas much earlier in the season, giving me better crops and stronger, healthier plants to plant outside. I've grown salads earlier in the season, and then I've grown all the way up to planting watermelons and melons and cucumbers into these spaces.
Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it useful and inspiring. It's a pleasure to share all of these things with people, and hopefully you can take something away for your allotment too. If you'd like to check out any more of my videos, you can find them over here. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!